So today's video that we're doing is we're looking at all the locations that they filmed in the movie Atlantic Rim, which, if you don't know, is a B-grade movie based off of Pacific Rim. They filmed the whole thing here in my hometown in Pensacola, and I just thought it would be fun to come check out some of the locations. One of the girls that's in the movie, one of the main characters, lives here. I emailed her yesterday. She said she'd be willing to do a little bit of an interview with me, so we'll get to that later. But let's check out some of these locations for now. Whenever they filmed the movie, it was in the middle of this like Mardi Gras parade, and they shot the Rex Theater, iconic here in my hometown, Pensacola. It's just really weird because they don't film a lot of stuff in this city. Mystery Science Theater actually reviewed the movie on Netflix, so I don't know if you can actually find it just by itself anywhere. I highly recommend checking out Mystery Science Theater because they poke fun at it and it's a lot of fun. One of the shots that they used out in the movie where they're coming around, they're like getting all these Mardi Gras beads and stuff. It's right down here. I'm gonna get out of the street before I get hit. Oh God. You might recognize this shot from the Mardi Gras scene in the movie where they go and they have a little skirmish outside. We're gonna go there, see if we can't find that place too. So it's pretty busy right here right now, but this is where they came out of. And they had the little altercation because that dude called that guy a squid.
Squid?
What'd you say?
Red. Squid?
Because that Warren's getting into a fight. It's kind of embarrassing actually because we looked all over for this spot, but it was literally just right around the corner. But yeah, they get into a little tussle right here. It looks a little bit different, but we use this kind of incline on this parking garage to sort of reference it for us. Yeah, so he's like, hey, I gotta call you back. And I get into a fight. Moving on. So this is one of the most bizarre shots to see because Seville Quarter in Pensacola is like one of the biggest places that people go to. It's a bar, it's a really nice bar. They do partying over the weekends and stuff. So just seeing like the Seville Quarter sign in like a movie is so weird. But this is where they all come together. The dude tells the story about how he held the jaws open of one of those monsters and they blew it up. And
Spitfire balls up, dude. He comes in close, drops it, nails it, boom, boom!
So this is where they lit Seville Quarter on fire in post. Looks a little cheesy. Luckily for us, they kept the fire truck here after all these years. I guess it's become something of a local staple. But yeah, moving on. There's a scene in the movie where one of the guys who operates one of the big mech suits goes inside and saves a little girl. So we're gonna see if we can actually go inside. I don't know if they're even open right now, but we're gonna try and get that shot too.
Kind of looking right here.
Oh yes. Are we allowed to be in here?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So this is where he comes in and he saves that little girl. I guess they closed off this area and just messed it up. So they actually, she was cool with us being in here, so I'm glad we didn't have to sneak in, which is always a plus. Looks fine now though, so I guess the monsters didn't win. I've actually never really been in here before. I know a lot of people party over in this area, but I make YouTube videos, so I'm not one of them. I'm not gonna go behind the bar, but the little girl and stuff would have been right there, and I guess they let him go behind there to save her. So that was real nice. All right, let's find another spot.
Get out now! Get out! Get out! Get out! Death is coming!
Here we are. This is the building that they ended up blowing up. While it's not in Pensacola, it is in Perdido Key, which is about 40 minutes from where the rest of the movie was filmed. I feel kind of bad for the filmmakers because it's kind of like a day like today when they film. So it's like really overcast and really, really cloudy. So they didn't probably get the sunshine they were expecting being out here in Florida, but what you gonna do?
Hi, my name's Nicole Dickson. I played Dr. Margaret Adams in Atlantic Rim.
How did you get involved in the movie? And just generally, what was the experience like?
Sure. I was in Virginia, and one day I was online, and Jerry Brisky, who is at the University of West Florida, who was the Florida casting agent for Atlantic Rim, popped up on Messenger and said, hey, Nicole, the script just came across my desk. I think you'd be perfect for it. I'm going to send it to you. Can you come down to Pensacola for an audition? And I said, no, I can't come down to Pensacola. I've got a job up here. He's like, well, can you send in a video audition? So I sent in a video audition, and I ended up getting cast.
the movie's a play on Pacific Rim.
Yes.
So how did that feel, I guess, going into like an Asylum production, the Sharknado people?
The funny thing is I didn't know it was an Asylum production at first. They didn't call it Atlantic Rim. They called it Attack from Beneath.
Oh yeah.
And I was not familiar with Pacific Rim because it hadn't really come out yet, obviously, because Asylum comes out before those shows. And so I didn't know that it was a mockbuster. Like, I didn't know it was a mockbuster until halfway through filming. And then I was sitting down in the green room with one of my co-stars, and he said, "So, how do you feel about being in an Asylum movie?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he was like, Asylum. And I was like, no, I don't know Asylum. And so he started explaining what Asylum was, and I was like, oh God, okay, that's what we're doing.
A few months ago, Mystery Science Theater on Netflix featured Atlantic Rim.
Yes.
On episode 2. I've seen it. I love Mystery Science Theater. How did you feel about it, being in the movie and stuff?
I love MST3K. I've loved MST3K since I started watching it when it was like way back on Comedy Central. With as much as I love MST3K, it's very weird seeing me on Mystery Science Theater 3000. Weird and wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that they picked up Atlantic Rim. And in my personal opinion, out of the gauntlet, Atlantic Rim was my second favorite. I liked Ator, the Flying Eagle, the most. As far as the riffs go, it was my personal favorite. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed being in it. Another local guy who's in it is Steve Marlowe. He plays Eye Patch Guy. And
Steve.
Yes.
I didn't know he was local.
Shout out to Steve. Oh yeah, he's in, I believe, Fort Walton. Another really fun fact about Atlantic Rim is at the same time we were shooting Atlantic Rim, Sharknado was shooting.
Oh.
Which very few people know. The first Sharknado.
Oh.
Which very few people know. And so they were talking about Sharknado like the whole time we're doing this thing, and Sharknado and I was like, Sharknado? What the f*** is that? And that's when I first found out that were a thing. And Sharknado was just supposed to be this little
nothing.
Yeah, we did Sharknado.
Because Sharknado's like an original,
it's
Atlantic Rim.
Exactly, where Atlantic Rim is a mockbuster. And then Sharknado, literally, ironically, blew us out of the water.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh wow, okay.
Okay, great.
Well,
I appreciate you joining me and doing this interview with me. I know you gotta run, so.
Yes, I gotta go to an acting class, go figure.
Yeah, I gotta go home and edit this. So.
All right, well cool, thanks Holden, I appreciate it.
What happened? Yo man, I was in the butt and I got the monster pinned down on the ground. Got his jaws pried open all the way. I'm pinning and I'm shaking, I'm fighting with him. Spitfire comes in, dude, he's got a full payload. The 50 cal didn't even leave a scratch. He pulls up sharply, comes around for a second run. Spitfire balls up, dude, he comes in close, drops it, nails it, boom, boom!